Today I got something pretty funny to show you. I made this when I was probably maybe 5 years old, maybe younger, or maybe a little bit older, not quite sure, but anyway, here's a little book I made when I was little. I call it J.L. Stein Goosebumps. Used to be a big fan of Goosebumps when I was little, and here's a little story I wrote. Now, I do warn you, this is pretty bad because I was a little kid. But this is my story called The Killer Wolf. I made this when I was really little. Anyway, I'll show you the story and I'll read it to you. One day a boy was walking into the woods until a wolf jumped on him and bit him. The boy was starting to turn into a wolf. I used to write pretty good when I was little. And there's my little guy sitting there saying, "Oh no, a wolf!" Then the wolf bites him. Then over here the guy turns into a werewolf, and he's got blood coming down on him, and he's mean looking and he's muscular. I drew some pretty violent looking things when I was a kid, I know that. The next day a little girl was walking through the woods. She went to the place where the wolves lived. I spelled wolves, I meant wolves when I was little. And there's a little girl. Notice how she looks like crap. Wasn't a very good artist when I was little. Then here's all the little werewolves. We got one up there on the top. We got the full moon. We got all the werewolves over here. We got one over there. One right there biting her hand, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And there's a big one right there looking at her. There's one jumping down right there, and there's one right there with blood everywhere. I'll kind of zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. Now let's turn the page here. And now I go into the army and all that. There was an army and tanks, and all the wolves died out for good. Bam, bam, ha ha ha, you're dead. And there's a big wolf coming out of a hole, and there's another little army guy shooting a wolf there, and blood going everywhere. There's a tank shooting a werewolf, and there's like blood going everywhere. Blood everywhere. There was one more king wolf. And there's a guy shooting down at him. And there's a guy right there shooting at him. And there's tanks with all these little missiles shooting at him. And there's the king werewolf. Real big werewolf. Now I'll turn the page. He died not long ago. So that's the end, kids. Till next time. And you got the king wolf at the dinner table with somebody's head on a plate. And it says, R.L. Stein. There's a little werewolf sitting there at the table with a big old W, stands for werewolf. And then R.L. Stein. I'm not sure what this is right there. I guess this is a wolf kid I drew when I was little. I'm not really sure. Then there's the back cover. It says, "Don't Cry. J.L. Stein by You Are Bad." Well, that's my little story I made when I was really little. I'm not sure what I made this for. It could have been for art class or something else, but as you can see, I was a pretty weird little kid. I was into horror movies when I was little. But that's my story, The Killer Wolf. Like I said, it's not the best story because, well, I was a little kid when I wrote it. But I'd say it's pretty graphic. I mean, I didn't draw too bad for a little kid. A lot of blood and guts, I'll say that. A big old werewolf looking down on her like he wants to eat her. Well, thanks for watching this video. Can't believe I found this. I found it under my dresser in my room. But that's a pretty neat little story. Thanks for watching, and have a good day, and watch out for the werewolves. They might get you. Oh.